I never thought I would enjoy mornings at this age. For years, the sunrise was just an alarm clock, a race against time. The world demanded speed, and I obliged. Life was measured in accomplishments, not in quiet moments. But something shifted as the years collected. The frantic pace began to feel hollow. I found myself longing for a sense of stillness that the hurried world seemed to have forgotten. It was a gentle ache, a quiet whisper in the back of my mind that asked, "What is all this for?" And so I started waking up early. Not for more time to work, but for more time to live. I would sit by the window, a silent observer to the world's gentle awakening. The sky would blush from gray to pink, then to a soft, hopeful orange. It was a performance that had played out every single day of my life, yet I was only now truly seeing it. This simple act of watching the sunrise became a ritual, a quiet revelation. I discovered that the morning held a unique kind of peace, a profound stillness that the rest of the day could never offer. In this gentle quiet, I began to find not just peace, but a piece of myself I thought I had lost along the way. I was waking up not for time, but for life. This journey into the early morning was not a sudden transformation. It was a slow, deliberate turning, like a ship gradually changing its course in a vast ocean. For so long, my life had been defined by the ticking clock. Each second was a unit of productivity, a resource to be spent wisely, never wasted. Mornings were the epitome of this mindset, a frantic scramble to capitalize on every available moment. The idea of simply being felt foreign, almost irresponsible. The world had taught me that my value was tied to my output, to what I could show for my time on this earth. Rest was for the weak, and stillness was a luxury reserved for another lifetime. But after 50 years, you start to see the cracks in that philosophy. You begin to understand that a life measured only in achievements is a life half-lived. I started to notice the spaces between the seconds, the moments that the clock doesn't count, the pause after a deep breath, the warmth of a ceramic mug held between two hands, the way the dust motes dance in a single sunbeam. These were the moments that held the real texture of existence, the true substance of a day. They were small, insignificant by the world's standards, but they were everything. They were the melody underneath the noise. Finding these moments required a conscious effort to slow down. It meant resisting the urge to fill every silence with a task. It meant unlearning a lifetime of conditioning that told me to always be moving, always be doing. In the pre-dawn quiet, there was nothing to do but be present. There were no emails to answer, no calls to make, no fires to put out. There was only the gentle unfolding of the day and my own quiet presence within it. This was where the real magic happened. It was in this intentional slowness that I found a deeper connection to the world and to myself. I began to see my mornings as a sanctuary. It was my time, sacred and untouched by the demands of others. It was a space to reflect, to remember, and to simply breathe. I learned that waking up early was not about adding more hours to my day, but about adding more life to my hours. It was about creating a buffer of peace between the quiet of the night and the inevitable beautiful chaos of the day. This small shift in perspective changed everything. It taught me that the most profound moments are often the quietest ones, found not in the rush, but in the stillness that lies just beyond it. For most of my life, the day began with a jolt. The shrill alarm clock was my daily call to arms, slicing through my dreams. It was a declaration of war against sleep. There was no grace, only urgency. My focus was solely on the clock's hands, a tyrant ruling my every move. It represented a constant state of reaction, of being pulled from one obligation to the next. The morning was not a time for reflection or peace. It was a frantic race. The immediate rush of adrenaline became the fuel that powered my engine. I didn't realize I was simply surviving the morning, not living it. I remember the feeling of my heart pounding. Showering became a frantic task. Dressing was a hurried affair. Breakfast, if it happened, was consumed while standing. There was no pleasure, only the anxiety of the schedule. I was a puppet on a string, and the clock was my unforgiving master. This routine became a deeply ingrained pattern of stress. I was always chasing time. The idea of a calm morning felt like a fantasy. I had accepted this chaos as the price of admission. The alarm clock would ring, and I would answer. The chaos of those mornings was a symphony of stress and noise. The frantic search for socks, the clatter of a spoon, the blare of the news. Each sound added to the feeling of being overwhelmed. The house felt like a launching pad, designed for quick exits. My mind raced, rehearsing meetings and worrying about deadlines before my first cup of coffee. There was no space for a clear thought, no room for stillness. This created a deep sense of disconnection. I was so focused on getting out the door on time that I missed the journey of the morning itself. I was missing the very texture of my own life. This daily ordeal was profoundly lonely. Our interactions were transactional, just the shared stress of the morning rush. We never stopped to share a quiet moment or begin the day with peace. Beneath the surface, I felt a quiet ache, a longing for something more than the hurried mornings I knew. I saw my own exhaustion in the mirror, tired eyes, a spirit worn thin by routine. What I truly craved was not more sleep, but a gentler beginning, a morning filled with meaning, not just motion. Each missed sunrise felt like a small loss, but slowly awareness grew, a quiet promise that change was possible. Change began with one small step, setting my alarm just 15 minutes earlier. That first morning, I resisted the urge to hit snooze and quietly watch the dawn arrive. In those few minutes, I felt the promise of a new beginning. I realized the real enemy of my morning peace wasn't the clock, it was the noise inside my own mind. I stopped reaching for my phone and let the world wait, choosing silence over distraction. In that quiet, I found presence. My thoughts settled and peace began to grow. By choosing quiet, I gave myself the gift of a gentle start. My mornings shifted from obligation to intention. Each act, making tea, stretching, journaling, became a mindful ritual. I slowed down, savoring the process and being present in each moment. With intention, I reclaimed my mornings and my sense of peace. The calm I found in the morning rippled through my day. I met stress with more composure, less likely to be swept away by chaos. My family noticed the difference. Mornings became moments of connection. Stillness helped me notice small joys and moments of gratitude. Waking up early wasn't just about time. It was about waking up to my life. I traded my harsh alarm for a gentle sunrise clock. Waking to soft light, not noise, set a peaceful tone for my day. I made tea slowly, letting its warmth and aroma ground me. These simple rituals became the foundation of my peaceful mornings. Scent is powerful. Each morning, I let the gentle aroma of essential oils fill the air, grounding me in the present. I make a cup of tea, savoring the warmth and the quiet moment it brings. Then I write in my journal, a few lines to clear my mind and begin the day with intention. The yoga mat became the final piece of my morning ritual, a simple symbol of self-care and intention. With each gentle stretch, I found a quiet connection to my body and mind, a moment to simply be present. In that stillness, I remembered that caring for myself could be as simple as a few mindful breaths on the mat. With age, time softens. The rush of ambition fades, replaced by a gentle appreciation for small, quiet moments. Now I savor a sunrise, a warm cup of tea, or a gentle smile. These are the moments that matter most. Growing older is not about decline, but about arriving at a deeper understanding of what truly matters, being present, and finding peace in the simple things. In the quiet of the morning, memories gently return, like sunlight warming an old, familiar room. I think of my parents, my children, and all the moments that shaped me. In this stillness, I find gratitude for the journey and forgiveness for myself. The joys and sorrows, the triumphs and mistakes, they all belong. In these quiet mornings, I remember that my life is rich and full. As the sun rises, I begin my day with a quiet moment of gratitude, giving thanks for the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of home, and the simple rhythm of breathing. This daily practice has shifted my focus from scarcity to abundance, anchoring me in grace and reminding me not to take this life for granted. By starting my day with thanks, I set a gentle course for kindness and compassion, both for myself and for others. So this has been my story. It is a simple one, about the quiet journey from a life of frantic rushing to one of gentle presence. It is the story of how I learned to befriend the morning, to find a sanctuary in the hours before the world wakes up. The tools I have shared, the sunrise alarm, the calming tea, the simple journal, These are the companions that have helped me along the way. They are humble guides that have supported this slow, beautiful transformation. They have helped me carve out a space for peace in a world that so often demands our chaos. They are anchors in the quiet harbor of the dawn, and they have made all the difference. Perhaps something in my story has resonated with you. Perhaps you too feel that quiet longing for a different kind of morning, a different way of being. Maybe you feel that deep, soul-level exhaustion that comes from a life lived at full speed, a life that has left little room for your own spirit to breathe. If so, I want to extend a gentle invitation to you, an invitation to explore what your own morning sanctuary might look like. It does not need to look like mine. It only needs to be yours, a space crafted with intention and care, a time set aside just for you. You might find that your own perfect morning involves music or prayer, or simply sitting in silence with your hands resting in your lap. It might involve watching the city lights from a balcony, or listening to the sound of the rain against the window pane. There is no right or wrong way to begin this practice. The only requirement is a willingness to slow down, to listen, and to be present with yourself. The tools I mentioned can be a wonderful place to start this journey. If you are curious, you will find links to the versions I use in the description below this video. They are simply doorways, waiting to be opened. This is not another task to add to your to-do list. It is not another race to be won or another standard to live up to. Think of it instead as an act of profound self-kindness. It is a gift you can give yourself every single day. The gift of peace, the gift of presence, the gift of starting your day from a place of fullness rather than from a place of lack. It is an opportunity to build a foundation of calm that will support you long after the sun has risen. It is your time to find your own personal stillness. If this all feels overwhelming, please remember that my journey did not happen overnight. It began with just 15 minutes. It began with a single, small step. Perhaps that is where your journey can begin too. You do not need to change everything at once. Simply choose one small, gentle act. Maybe it's deciding to leave your phone untouched for the first 10 minutes of your day. Or perhaps it's the simple act of making a cup of tea with your full attention. The smallest of shifts can create the most profound ripples, setting in motion a change you can barely imagine today. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. I invite you to continue this conversation with us. If you feel moved to do so, please subscribe for more gentle reflections like this one. This is a space where we can explore these ideas together, a community of fellow travelers on the path to a more mindful life. I would also love to hear about your own experiences. Please leave a comment below and share one of your own morning rituals, or perhaps one that you would like to try. Your story might be the very thing that inspires someone else to begin their own journey toward a more peaceful start. This life, especially as we gather more years, becomes a series of new chapters. It can be a time of great change, of letting go of old ways and embracing new ones. If you know someone who is starting a new chapter in their life, perhaps facing retirement, an empty nest, or simply seeking a deeper connection with themselves, I encourage you to share this reflection with them. It might be the gentle nudge they need to discover the beauty that awaits them in the quiet moments of their own mornings. A little encouragement can make all the difference. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought. You are worthy of a peaceful beginning to your day. You are deserving of a life that feels less like a race and more like a gentle, unfolding story. The quiet of the morning is there, waiting for you. It holds no judgment, only a deep and abiding peace. All it asks is that you show up, that you breathe, and that you allow yourself to simply be. I wish you well on your journey. May you find great joy in the stillness.